Hey, it's your boy Surge Dragon, and welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast, back from hiatus edition. This time, we're running through and reviewing all of Impact that has happened in 2020, coming up to 2021. So let's go ahead. First off, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for this videos for more Heavens Monsters podcasts with me and my brothers. Speaking of which, it's your boy Chris Petrie, Andre Mitchell,
Yo.
and last but not least, Mike Henry.
If you're ready for episode number 4 of the long-awaited Heavens Monsters podcast hiatus, give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
Watch episode number 4, give me a hell yeah.
Hey.
So, episode 4.
So first off, we gotta talk about the world title picture. And the one who's been honing it down is your boy. Too fly on the dance floor, he is Rick Swan, boy. Woo!
Former WWE 205.
And for those who want to be technical, the only wrestling division that I know of that has a black man as its world champion. As sad as that sounds. You know that? With WWE being all that and this, and let's see, Ring of Honor having a Hispanic or Mexican, take your pick, as a world champion. Who's the world champion in NWA right now, Chris?
Still Nick Owens.
Damn. He's an Englishman?
Yep.
Hey. So right now, definitely for a lot of people, fan favorites is Impact Wrestling, because during this whole Black Lives Matter, which is serious, definitely showcasing that. And you got to look at it. Moose, another proud black American, is going for that title, and he is putting the question for that old classic title. That's how I'm going to call it. Classic title. TNA title, saying that he's the true champ. What is your thoughts on that, Chris?
Well, he just saying that because that title is not irrelevant. It's not TNA. It's just Impact.
It's a prop.
Yep. But Swan is the true champion, not Moose.
What about you, Andre? How do you feel about this?
It's alright so far, I guess.
Your thoughts on Rick Swan holding the world championship?
Good for Rick Swan. Good job.
And how do you feel about the Moose going after that title?
I want to see the two go at it. I want to see who wins.
Mikey, get your 2 cents.
Rick Swan's doing everything he can since coming back from that brutal leg injury thanks to that evil lunatic Eric Young. But Rick Swan is doing his damnedest to become WWE World Champion, and now he's got a date with another black man, Moose.
Let's not forget the people he had gone through to actually retain this title. People like his old friend, the Madman, Sami Callihan. He went with Eddie Edwards. He went against, let's see, who else?
Ken Shamrock.
There you go. Ken Shamrock, too. I was about to say Ken Shamrock, but I was like, did he get the title shot? I'm trying to think. Did he? Oh, Ace Austin. He fought Ace Austin. Madman Fulton was in his face. He fought Trey Miguel at one point, which was good. And he was also there for the farewell of the Rascals, while the Rascals' 2 members became MSK in NXT and WWE, while Trey Miguel re-signed with Impact Wrestling. We'll talk about that more later on. So, with that said, now I'm about to watch No Surrender, No Surrender, and see the 50-year-old man, Tommy Dreamer, get his title shot, and probably his last title shot with Rick Swan, before he goes up against Moose at Genesis. So I'm going to be watching that. And I'm going to watch the following Impact after that on my DVR. So, with that said, that's what I wanted to get because that was the main picture. It's the title picture. And that's all. Rick Swann is the one showing up on 2020 to 2021. Yo, Chris, I gotta ask, is he the longest reigning champion right now or what?
Which one? I think he is because he haven't lost the title. So, yes.
Yeah, we gotta see that. We gotta Wikipedia that later. All right. So, who wants to mention something else that's been going on in Impact?
Let's go to Decay.
Ah, Decay. Oh, Wrestling House. Oh my God. What was, so apparently with Rosemary at the center of it all was trying to find out through the tarot cards what is next for her. She's to find a fool, and that fool would be in the form of Johnny Bravo. Don't get confused with, do not walk with me. Cartoon Network's Johnny Bravo. Nah. We're talking about the wrestler. We're talking about the referee, the head official, and the lackey of Taya Valkyrie. So this John E with a period, Bravo, would be the guy walking around without Taya Valkyrie due to the pandemic. So she's stuck in Mexico or wherever she is, and he's just running around in a bar doing nothing. So apparently she gets it in his head that they're dating, and when Taya Valkyrie comes back, somehow, some way, they're warped into a reality where Tommy Dreamer is the guy who's running the show, and it's literally, it was like, you got the Deaners, you got Eddie's wife. I imagine he was wondering where she's been all this time. You had Taya Valkyrie, you had Rosemary, you had Johnny Bravo, you had the Triple XL, you had Crazy Steve and Johnny Swinger. Oh, that's a full house right there. No kidding. Of characters. Ultimately, with everything going around in that crazy house, beer was taken, powder was thrown in people's faces, accusations were made, wrestling matches were made in that little thing. Sleeping arrangements were made. It's a good thing to watch, but there's so much going on in each and every episode that we don't have enough time to talk about it. So I just said it like I did. Ultimately, it ended with finally, we got hints throughout each and every episode, finding out it will end, Wrestling House would end when Johnny Bravo pops the question. And he did. He asked Rosemary to marry him. And then we finally get the wedding, and Johnny Bravo gets shot. So all of this coming in together, we just see this, and we're just like, what the hell is going on? We find out the person who shot him was Larry D, but his alter ego, thanks to that wrestling odor perfume that transformed him into Lawrence D, shot him because he was falling in love with Rosemary. So we're all questioning what the hell. Ultimately, I didn't even think they would do this. I didn't even think after the Wrestling House and the murder case and the shot of Johnny Bravo, they would make the contract of Taya Valkyrie end this way, where her time in Impact was coming to an end. So ultimately, she is the actual murderer, or attempted murder. He's still alive, Johnny Bravo. He made a full recovery in the courtroom of Johnny Swinger, who was claimed to be the murderer because he had the gun. So it was Taya Valkyrie who sprayed Larry D to become Lawrence D in all of this because she didn't want her best friend Rosemary to marry Groomzilla, like Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
And it was all a ploy from Rosemary to begin with to get a virgin's blood. So, did anybody win in this marriage? I don't think so. What are your thoughts, Mikey?
I still couldn't believe that Taya Valkyrie would have the nerve to shoot John E. Bravo to use Rosemary, but unbelievable. Oh my God, I can't believe that Taya Valkyrie would do something like this.
Ultimately, due to storyline, she has been put away for a long time. But if we're talking real life, it's because Taya Valkyrie's contract has ended and now she can go wherever she wants. Including, since she's always done this, yeah, she's always following her husband. So we don't know if she'll show up on Monday Night Raw or NXT. I would hope to see her in NXT because the women's division there is fire. Wouldn't you agree with me, Chris?
Maybe she can show up in AEW.
That too. That is a possibility. Good I mentioned that. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to you, Chris, for showing me that New Japan video last night. I did not know I'm trying to remember. I can't get this out of my head. His last name is Young, but he's known by John Cena as the Black John Cena. What was his name?
Leo Rush?
Not Leo Rush. The Black John Cena, former member of Nexus. He's a guy in he's a guy in WWE who came out of the closet.
Oh, you mean David Young.
David Young. There you go. I knew his last name was Young. I keep forgetting his first name. David. That was Eric Young. I'm like, that's not Eric Young. That's wrong person. We got too many people named Young now. Mae Young, she's passed away. Renee Young, Eric Young, David Young. Too many Youngs. So, this is all, I was thankful of that because then I did see Leo Rush in New Japan Wrestling after he left the challenge on MTV. I stopped watching the challenge after that because I wanted to see where he would end up. And he decided to leave. So thank you for that. Okay, what do we want, with Decay? You said Decay. So, after that's, that whole thing with the marriage in Wrestling House, we now have the issue of Larry D being mad as hell for being set up that way. He blames Rosemary and Crazy Steve teaming up with his buddy Ace Romero to go up against her, but he doesn't hit a woman, so he's got Tennille Dashwood, who signed up to fight her. And to have a third person in their team, they have the Toros, right? What's his name?
Taurus.
From AAA Wrestling. Woo! He fits the bill for Decay, don't he? So now we got ourselves a mixed mixed 6-man tag going on between these 6 people. It's all fun. All right. Chris, what do you want to talk about next?
Matt, the one, his nickname is Zack Ryder, former WWE, now Impact, back, just Matt.
Oh, Zack Ryder. Yeah, Matt, damn, I forgot his name too. The guy who goes, woo, 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 you know it. He's in Impact Wrestling now.
Zack Ryder?
Yeah, but he goes by Zack Arandawa, something like that. Are you looking it up, Mikey?
I'm trying to think of his name.
You want me to look it up? Hold up. Let me see this here. Hold up. I can do this while I'm looking at y'all. Yeah. Zack Ryder.
Matt Cardona.
There you go. You have his name. Matt Cardona. Thank you. Mikey for the win. So Matt Cardona is in Impact Wrestling, and he's definitely making a name for himself, even going so far as to fight a former friend with the most professional wrestler ever? More like professional ass. His old buddy, his old edgehead. I forget what his Brian something like that. What's his name?
Brian Myers.
Brian Myers. I got the first name right. So Brian Myers has definitely been going up against Eddie Edwards, Eddie Edwards just goes wherever he wants to go. He's fought many people, including Sami Callihan. See, I got the last name wrong. Sami Callihan, Ken Shamrock. He's fought AC Romero. He's fought Matt Fulton. He's fought anybody that will actually fight him. So, including the North. So, with Sami now having to fight with a most professional wrestler, Brian Myers, it's interesting. And he's hired our Houston, Texas boy, Hernandez, to back him up. So, of course, coming out, seeing how his boy, Brian Myers, we got Matt Cardona going against him and helping him in a tag team match. So, those two are going to be in a tag. I just finished watching that part, by the way. I said I was going to watch it. I had watched half of it. I watched that match. Sadly to say, Matt and Eddie Edwards lost to Hernandez and Brian Myers. So, where that goes from there, I have to watch Impact to see what happens after that, but damn. So everybody, as far as those guys, they are without question definitely still going around. Just fighting whoever they need to get into that title picture. But no word yet as to, besides Moose, who's going to be taking up the title picture right after Moose. So it's up in the air for management to decide. Your thoughts on that, Chris?
I had no comment.
You, Mikey?
What's next for Eddie Edwards? He's been through so much ever since he got rid of Ace Austin, and now he's rekindled his rivalry with the man who almost ended his career trying to kidnap his own wife, Alicia, Sami Callihan. And not to mention Sammy's old friend, Ken Shamrock. But my next question is, what's next for Eddie Edwards? We don't know.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Next thing I want to mention is the wad of money that Hernandez had originally had and was wrestling with Rhino. And then somehow, some way, we had gotten, what was it? What the fuck was that? Bless you. You okay, Mikey?
I'm fine. That was me sneezing. Sorry.
No, I said bless you, bro.
Thank you.
In which case, he's Heath. He's not Slater. He's Heath.
Heath Miller.
Heath Miller is in Impact Wrestling. He finally got a contract after Slammiversary, getting that win between both him and Rhino, winning the whole Battle Royale. Call Your Shot championship match, which means if you remember, Rhino, who came at number 1 and won the whole damn thing, is still got his Call His Shot. So he can claim any title shot he wants whenever. He has to name the date. He still got it. He's got that little trophy. But due to the fact of certain individuals who we will talk later, jumped him, we have not seen Heath since he's recuperating, and now he's definitely on the shelf as to when he'll come back with his contract that he wanted. So we have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, we also got to mention the fact that, like I said, to the wad of money, Falaba jacked that money for the wedding in question, but kept it to himself, acting like he's got a golem from the Lord of the Rings, acting like that wad of money was that. That money would be then stolen by Fire and Flavor, Akira Hogan and Tasha Steele. And then that money would be then taken by the current holder, and it's Johnny Swinger running a gambling place with Johnny Bravo. Since he doesn't have Taya Valkyrie no more. So he's got a gambling house right there. He's got the hotties. He's got this. Question, when is Hernandez going to go get that money back? Does he even know?
No clue.
He's still walking around with that wad of money, for the record. It's getting bigger.
Yeah, right.
Don't be surprised they're going to put that wad of money like a title belt, saying whoever wins this gets this wad of cash.
Yeah, right.
What do you think about that, Andre? I see a bunch of colors.
Man. I wish I had that kind of money, honestly.
Right about now. Want that royalty check from Donald Trump.
Yep.
Stimulus check. It's called a stimulus check. They said royalty check. Give us a $2,000 one, he promised. I don't know how that's going to work. Anyway, let's see. Ooh, let's talk about the Knockouts champion.
Oh,
You want to take this, Mikey?
Miss Perazzo, the Virtuoso, has been on a hot streak, but she's had two backups. She's got Kimberly and Susan, who we know is too young or Susan.
Hold up, Mikey. And we're back. Mikey, take it back.
As I was saying, Miss Virtuosa, the Perazzo, has held the Knockouts title when she's got two backups. Kimberly and Susan, formerly known as Su Young / Susie.
Yeah. Su Young had actually taken the title from her at, if I'm correct, Slammiversary. And then she retained it after the following pay-per-view. After which, Susie had been running around as, Susan, Su Young. And they called upon the revived Father James Mitchell for the wedding. And when it was done, he actually got his hands on Su Young, and they were trying to turn her back into the harmless Susie, but instead they got Susan. What is seeing Susan in action? I can't help but I think Impact is trying to make Susan sound like a Karen. Is it just me? We got cut off due to an emergency warning. I got cut off. I can combine the videos in just a bit. So, how y'all?
It said something about the water.
Water?
It said flush your water system by running cold water faucets for at least a minute. Make and discard sealed bags of ice and run water softeners through a regeneration cycle.
Oh. Yeah, we still got water problems.
Water.
Yeah, one of the things we got to talk about is because we didn't do the podcast last week is because of the fact that our power went out. A lot of us in Houston, Texas, our power went out all over Texas. So we were without power, Wi-Fi, water. We had gas, but we had to be careful with that. We lost a lot of lives due to the freaking cold here in Houston alone. People froze to death.
No more cold, no more snow.
Yeah, no more snow.
We're getting close to spring.
That's the second time in my lifetime I saw snow.
Well, no more snow.
We miss everything.
You miss everything?
We miss Monday Night Raw. We miss Impact and NXT.
Not me. I had my DVR.
I saw Raw on my phone.
My Xfinity One recorded everything while being
I
off.
watched Raw.
I did not.
I saw Raw on my phone.
Hey, Chris, you got Xfinity?
Yeah.
Get Xfinity One.
On my phone.
Get the cheapest one. It records everything even while off. While unplugged, it records everything through freaking cloud or whatever. My mom had it on her phone. Since she had the data, she went onto the website and she saw that it was still recording. I was like, that's cool. That's why our cable box was full. It was a 90 when we got our cable and Wi-Fi back. We were just like getting rid of stuff we didn't care for. We could watch later. I was like, wrestling. I gotta watch my wrestling. But my mom wanted to watch the anime. Okay. Deonna Purrazzo definitely had beaten a lot of people. We're talking Tanya Dashwood, Su Yung, Jordan Grace, even Taya Valkyrie, and I think she's beaten Rosemary. What the? So, Tennille Dashwood as Cocky Ash. What the hell? Everything is popping up. Tennille Dashwood has definitely been beating everybody. As cocky as she can be, she's definitely putting out that work and showing that she is the champion. That she is the top wrestler, despite the fact that she does cheat from time to time, but her submission holds are no joke. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to another subject. With the women's division, Knockouts tag team titles are back. And we had a big ass tournament, but at the end of the day, let's go ahead and round it up to the last two competitors. It was the Monsters of Mayhem, better known as Havoc and Diana. Devea? How you pronounce it? Havoc. Havoc and Nevea. That's what it was. Versus Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele, aka Fire and Flavor. Ultimately, it would be Fire and Flavor who wins is crowned the new Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and they successfully defended it at No Surrender against the finalists once again of the Monsters of Mayhem. So with that said, they're definitely going in as champions, but they're not looking too good because not a lot of people give a damn about these two girls despite winning. They tried to have a celebration for the championships, but they were trying to sell tickets for it. They were trying to get money out of their celebration, and at the end of the day, it didn't look too good. So they went about it all wrong. Instead of making it free where everybody would see and celebrate with them, they actually just tried to make a buck out of it and didn't do so good. They were pretty desperate. They even had the referees making platinum deals. They had the silver, they had the gold, and they had the platinum package. Some people actually bought them. That was interesting to see. So right now, after No Surrender with that part that I watched, yeah. Oh, let's talk about the XDivision Championship. What do you got to say about that, Chris?
About the exhibition or the women's tag team?
Go ahead and get your 2 cents on the women's.
Really, I was pulling for Havoc and the Monster of Mayhem, but they didn't win the tag team championship. Fire and Flavor have some.
You, Mikey?
Monsters of Mayhem hasn't beat, but Fire and Flavor, Kiera and Tasha just made history.
How do you think about the women's tag team titles? Or should I say knockouts titles, Andre?
They're okay so far.
Alright. Who wants to talk about the XDivision Championship? All right, Chris, go for it.
Well, first, I'm glad. Well, we were all thinking TJP would get an XDivision championship match, but he lost again. By sure, he couldn't get a title shot. So Manic came back and challenged Heat Bashur and beat him and took his championship away.
Yeah, and he was whining about it the whole time. It's the same guy. It's the same guy. Let's not forget about the other individuals that were trying to get a title shot. We got to talk about Ace Austin, as well as Chris Bay. All of them were trying to get title shots. Even Suicide, and who one time had Crazy Steve underneath that mask. Anybody could be Suicide. You could be Suicide. Andre could be Suicide. Mikey could be Suicide. I don't know if I could pull Suicide with my big fat belly.
You could be Suicide. It'd be easy for you.
We saw the weirdest look of Suicide. We saw Johnny Swinger's side. What the hell? That was weird. Johnny Swinger as Suicide. That was weird. So we now know that I haven't. Have I? I don't think I have. I think that's where I'm at right now. Watching the XDivision title match, and I have not seen who won the XDivision championship between Rohit Raju and TJP. And he brought somebody back. He brought what do you call it? The Lion. What's his name? Shira. He brought Shira back.
Mahaba Shira.
There you go. Mahaba. I didn't want to say Bahaba. Mahaba. Shira. I probably still butchered that. Not gonna lie. I'm bad with pronunciation. Especially with names I don't know. Bad with names. So with that said, I don't know. It's up there with me because I haven't finished watching it. Definitely going to talk about it. We're definitely going to talk about No Surrender as well as Royal Rumble and Vengeance Day. We're going to talk about those on a separate after we're done with AEW. But for right now, what are your thoughts knowing the fact that Shira could be a major player in this match since I haven't finished watching it, Chris?
Well, I haven't watched No Surrender, who won, who's still the XDivision champion or who's the new champion.
Yeah, we had the power out on that Tuesday. So I have to watch it and find out myself. Okay. Anything else we want to mention? Trying to think anything else that's been going on. Oh, we've been giving a lot of people coming back from wrestling. We got the Motor City Machine Guns. They came back, became tag team champions. We got Jazz. She came back as well as ODB just recently. We had, Tommy Dreamer's always been around. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about this as a sequence to both films, but definitely we're going to talk about it when we mention AEW. Definitely going to mention that when we talk about AEW. So, other than that, the tag team division, after the North had lost its titles with the Motor Machine Gun, it's definitely in the air with the Good Brothers now being the tag team champions. And we don't want to mention any details of that. We want to mention that when we're talking about AEW. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Impact in AEW. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that later. Mm-hmm.
Here we got to talk about the good belt. We got Good Brothers.
Yeah, Good Brothers.
Oh,
you want to talk about the Good Brothers? Too sweet.
Impact.
Too sweet. Too sweet. Too sweet. All right. One thing I got to mention. That's right. Eric Young. They got a name. Violet by nature or Violet. Yeah, Violence by Design. There you go. That's what it was. Oh man, who is that boy? Who's that big cowboy? Don Chris? Was that his name?
That big cowboy?
Yeah, that big cowboy running with Eric Young. What the hell? He's got some muscle in that big boy. He'd been running under Roughshod in Japan Wrestling and NWA from what Matt Stryker said. Oh, and the cast has been changed.
Joe Doran.
Joe Doran. I thought it was Chris something. It's Joe Doran. So Joe Doran has joined Eric Young on Impact Wrestling, and they actually managed to get and brainwash Cody Deaner. So now Cousin Jake is all by himself. He has to call himself Jake something. Literally, that's his name. Jake something. Something is his last name right now. Okay. So he's trying to fight alongside Rhino, and now we haven't seen no word of Rhino after he got whooped by Joe Doran and slammed. So Tommy Dreamer was helping him at one point, but now he's focusing on the world title at No Surrender. So that's where I'm at. So knowing the fact that Jake something got a win over his cousin, they just assaulted him after that. So it just leaves a question as to what is going to happen with this Violent by Design. It's like CBD. CBD, Violent by Design. Where's this going to go? Because he lost. He won the championship and then he lost the world championship. Now he's got this group. What is he going to do with it? Eric Young. Ooh, halle. And let me tell you, boys, Eric Young is a sick individual. Wouldn't you agree, Andre? Andre.
Yo.
Wouldn't you agree that Eric Young is a sick individual?
Ah, that nutcase, yeah.
What about that big cowboy he got, Joe Doran?
Ah, forget that loser.
He ain't no loser. He hasn't lost yet since he first came to Impact Wrestling. He's not lost.
Yeah, I guess, man. I just wait and see. He gonna lose eventually.
Hey, let me give you a different vocabulary. Man, forget that Baluka.
Yeah, okay.
Baluka. I gotta find a definition of that. I know it means something stupid. Baluka.
I think there's a whale called the Beluga whale. I don't know.
Oh, he's big like a Baluka.
Yeah.
What about you, Mikey? How do you think about Violent by Design?
You mean Eric Young?
Yep.
No comment.
Oh, you ain't got nothing to say about that psycho. Gotcha. And you, Chris? I see your ear.
Who cares about Violent by Design? I want them taken down permanently.
Yeah, I got you on that. My brother. All right. So, except for that one thing going around with AEW, we're going to mention that on AEW because that happened on AEW. So we got to mention that. So other than that, anything we mention based on that, we'll mention further on Impact with the AEW video. But I'm trying to think, is there anything else we got to mention, boys? Anything else?
No, that's. Did we talk about Dre Miguel?
Dre Miguel. I'm trying to remember who's Dre Miguel. Trey Miguel. I thought you said Dre. Yeah, you did. You're right. I did say we're going to mention him. Trey Miguel has definitely come back. And once again, with Sami Callihan is everywhere. He always picks a fight with people, like I said, with Eddie Edwards. But there has not been one time we have not mentioned Sami Callihan. So with Sami Callihan now looking at Impact Wrestling as his baby, since he did say that thanks to him, it's now on Access TV when he was champion at the time. So it's kind of questioning all that, where he's going up to Trey Miguel and saying that he doesn't believe that Trey Miguel has it in him, that he thinks he's just a quitter. So Trey Miguel is on a path to prove himself that he can branch off from the Rascals and become the champion. He dyed his buzz cut hair blonde, and he's definitely got some new tattoos that I've never seen. That took a while to... that had to hurt. But otherwise, Trey Miguel has definitely been trying to prove himself, but sadly, during the triple threat gauntlet match that happened at No Surrender, I watched that. The winner of that would be Josh Alexander, losing his partner of All Eagle Page, who apparently at Hard to Kill killed himself with Karate Man, and we haven't seen Karate Man or Ethan then. Okay. That was a weird thing. Is his contract in? Yo, Chris, that All Eagle, Ethan Page contract ended with Impact?
I think so.
Yeah, because he killed himself, technically. Karate Man won. So, Josh Alexander is all by himself, but he is not without proving himself that he is now the number one contender for the XDivision Championship against whoever wins, I guess, between Raju and TJP. So I got to see that. But I also want to mention something. Does anyone else think that Josh Alexander is like a modern day version of Kurt Angle? Because I'm seeing him use the ankle lock. I'm seeing him use ground and pound. He's got the wrestling gear like an actual wrestler. So I'm like, well, he kind of wrestles like Kurt Angle.
Yeah, he does.
So that's going to be something for Kurt Angle fans to look at Josh Alexander in that form. And he's definitely gone babyface. You noticed that, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that, Mikey?
About what?
Josh Alexander.
I don't know.
I was saying he reminds me of Kurt Angle.
Yeah, right.
His wrestling style, not his personality. Oh, you laughing out loud? Okay. I think this is a good place to stop. Don't you think, bros?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and y'all ready to end this video, boys? Let's go. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We were just talking. Leave a comment down below if you have anything you want to add on to this. So with that said, you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You didn't, give it a thumbs down. Hit the subscribe button, like the content, hit that notification bell for the next Heaven's Monsters podcast. I'm Serge. This is Chris. This is Andre. And this is Mikey. Tell him what's up, Mikey.
That's the bottom line. Help the Heaven's Monsters podcast crew set out, and we'll see you hopefully episode 5 of AEW.
Yep, hopefully tonight. If not, I gotta go to bed after the show of Elimination Chamber, and I'll let you know, bros, okay? Hey, bye, bros. Bye, everybody.